Hello, welcome to the next episode of the Vision Post. Um, Today is the if I went to a concert on the weekend, it will be the talking review. In which I did go to the concert of the weekend. I went to my 12th concert of the year and 42nd time seeing this band, a punk band that have been around since the late 70s. Ruts DC. They play the legendary 100 Club um, music venue, which was the last stop on their uh, European tour. The Ruts DC were originally called Ruts, but the original singer, Malcolm Owen, after I think it was the first or second album, he committed suicide, and so after that album, they became Ruts DC. London yesterday was particularly hard to navigate through because there was a few punks going to see Ruts DC at the 100 Club in Oxford Street, and the rest of London was awash with Arsenal supporters celebrating losing in the Champions League final to PSG. So I don't know why you have a second celebration for losing in the in the second final, but they did win the Premier League in England a few weeks previously, which is I presume what they were celebrating, not the Champions League. Uh, Me being a Charlton Athletic supporter doesn't really affect me, but it was pretty difficult to navigate through London as it is. The Ruts debut album came out in 1979, and it was called The Crack, and this is the album here. The front cover is supposed to be pictures of famous people, you can work them all out. But the band themselves today, there's two original members of the lineup. Seg Jennings on bass and vocals, he just turned 70, and Dave Ruffy on drums, who I believe is now 74. There is a Stranglers connection with Dave Ruffy. He helped produce or mix. I'm not too sure what the differences are, Dave, but he did something for the 2004 Stranglers revival album Norfolk Coast by many of the fans. It's when they had a resurgence of quality of album. Um, that's not my opinion because I'm always different to most fans, so we have a different opinion. And the guitarist Lee Hegarty, he is in a side band called Wingmen. Wingmen is a band where three members of the Stranglers, one member of the Stranglers, Baz Warren, the singer, the bass player Paul Gray, Lee Hegarty of Ruts DC, and a member of Supergrass, Rob Combs on keyboard, and Marty Love from Johnny Moped on drums. The idea for this side project was that they weren't all supposed to be the main people from the band that they're in, but they're wingmen to the bands that they went in. Baz, the wingman of the Stranglers, he is the original singer. Lee Hegarty is a wingman in Ruts DC. Marty Love is a wingman in Johnny Moped, and Paul Gray is not the original bass player of the Damned. That's how the idea, and they made one album so far in 2022, but they have recently been in the studio to record another one. And anyway, back to the Ruts DC. I was saying the venue holding 350 people. It wasn't a sellout, but it was pretty busy. Because it still was pretty packed, but I wouldn't say it was sold out. But they played 20 songs in total, and most of the songs, if you wanted to hear old Ruts material, you'll be quite unlucky because most of the bulk of the material was from the last two albums. And it's with that they started with. I've got mine. I write down the songs of every concert I go to. They started with of Vox Teardrop from 2016's Music Must Destroy. This album came out on the Pledge Music campaign, where fans of the band could send money to the artist to help record the album, and there's like different things that you could pledge. I've just pledged for the CD, but this is where the Vox Teardrop is track 10 on the album. Yeah, this is a pretty good basic sort of comeback album, as they call it. Up next, it was obviously they have to play Sus. Sus is the third song from their debut album, The Crack. So it's about getting in trouble with the police. I've never been in trouble with the police in my life personally, so I wouldn't know how that happened. Mighty Soldier. Now they came back in 2013 and did like a Rhythm Collision album. This is like a dub punk sort of collaboration, and the first song on this, Mighty Soldier, is the one song that seems to survive it. But whereas Music Must Destroy and Counterculture from 2016 are more punky orientated, this is more dub reggae orientated. If you like that sort of thing, I mean, I'm not really big on reggae. The support act was a reggae act, and it wasn't really for me, but it got the crowd going. The next song was a cover version, I think, called Too Much. But then they went back to the debut album. It was called, they always play this song. I think it's track 4, is it? No, it was not. It's track 6. Sorry, it was cold. This was a song about heroin addiction, I believe, and that's what the original singer Malcolm Owen had. And they always play that song in tribute to him. It's got a great bass line to start off with from Zeds. Next up is an album, Am an Animal Now, of which I can't ever seem to track that album down. I think it got deleted, but I do have the song that they played, Demolition Dancing, and I do believe that was the only song they did play from that album. That was supposed to be the outtake of the, you know, when a band plays a deep cut. That was it. A lot of times it's for a song from that album, which you either know it or you don't. But a lot of people, more people knew this one than they were hoping more people would know the newer stuff. But the older fans tend to know the older stuff, and the younger fans like me tend to know the newest stuff. Because they say the older stuff is better than the new stuff, but I disagree. The new stuff is really strong. But it's this when we go to 2022's Counterculture with a song called Born Innocent. Fans know this one is when they supported the Stranglers in 2022. This was one of the songs that they played. It's almost a dub, sort of like a. Most of the album is high energy punk, but this is more like a dub infusion reggae song, and it's about hating nobody and harming nobody and treating everybody as they wish to be treated themselves. After that is the famous Jar War. Everybody knows Jar War. It's like one of their hit singles, which is on The Crack. We're back to Counterculture again. I do believe we have a few more songs from Counterculture, and it is Poison Games, and this is about politicians only being interested in themselves and they pretend to care about um, the general public, but really they're only in it for their own game. And so their mantra was to sort of like not like any of them, so to speak. Um, After that one, there's one that's been constantly in the set for the last 10 years. Kill the Pain from Music Must Destroy. It's very like a. I always thought for some reason that uh, I don't know if you know the song "Another Girl, Another Planet." I think it's by the advert. The guitar line from "Another Girl and Another Planet" reminds me of "Kill the Pain." I don't know if anybody else thinks that or it's just me, but it's all similar. Uh, and then we're back to counterculture with the anti-AI song called "Faces in the Sky." Um, when AI started to come out, uh, they were the first to rebel against it. I think it's just been around till it came out. Now it's like every day, but a few years ago it was just coming into uh, the public domain. So it's all about the cameras in the sky, sort of filming your every move, and it's wrong, and it shouldn't happen, things like that. So it's quite funny for 70-year-olds to be sort of like going for it, but this is like one of the highlights for me. And then you get the single which they released from it, the Counterculture, which in England we have this thing called council culture, where they've been cancelling people for saying things that they shouldn't say in the media that they got away with saying, like in the 70s and the 60s. But Ruts DC changed it from how are you going to react with the council culture, so they made it a counter culture. So it's sort of like everyone can be all inclusive. So all members of society can mix together and can form a counterculture against the council culture. I do believe that is the idea of the song. Now we're on to the jumpy part of the set. They had a single called "In a Rut." In a Rut. It became a bit of an anthem of theirs, and it's on the debut album, The Crack, and that of course launches into Babylon's Burning, which got them a top 20 single in 1980. After they play In a Rut and Babylon's Burning, they go off. They now have the encores, and we're back to the counterculture with Pretty Lunatics again, which is an anti-politician song. You're supposed to not like any of them equally, according to Segs, the singer. And then they always finish off with Staring at the Rude Boys, which is a single, which is like a punk single from this one. It's a pretty good song. They always play it. It's about never surrendering on your morals, I think, and stick to your guns. And they always finish off with Psychic Attack, which is the first song on Music Must Destroy in 2016. So they don't finish on something really, really old. They finish off on something that this lineup of the band have put together themselves, and it's supposed to be just as strong as the older stuff. And it's got like a nod to Neat 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 from the Damned on it. Only at the end of it though. That's the game. They look really. No, they always put on like a high energetic performance. Dave Ruffy, the drummer, he's a really good drummer. He is like the focal point to watch sometimes when he is drumming. It's hard to say really. I think it's almost like it's punk, but it's almost got like a reggae feel to it. Or I think it's supposed to incorporate a reggae and dub feel to it. And Segs on the bass is a very good bass player and singer, and they all wear hats on stage. And Lee, I think he joined about 20 years ago on guitar, and he's been there ever since. So that was the review for the Ruts. Next week, I am off to Glasgow for the start of the year can start officially for me with the Stranglers. 2 nights in Glasgow. The first night sold out, and so when the first night sold out, they added a second night due to high demand. So you got 2 concerts from the Stranglers, and on the Sunday it's the Damned. So it's going to be a pretty punky weekend for me. It'll be another review of that. Okay, I see I've picked up a few new subscribers, so thanks to the new subscribers. My mantra is always don't like and don't subscribe, but if you want to, you can. Okay, that was today's episode of the Pigeon Post Ruts DC at the 100 Club, Saturday, May the 31st. Over and